The new season is here. Lagina brother will be back to start a new excavation session in November.
10 years ago, we never would have anticipated going underground in the money pit.
What we're seeing is high-density anomaly below the surface of the money pit.
Yep. Will this be the most exciting historical season yet? The stage is set because the last 3 biggest finds from Season 10 have already taken the world by storm.
We need to get to the bottom of the garden shaft. Could be the offset chamber that we seek.
For people across the globe, the belief that they will finally solve a 228-year-old treasure mystery has never been higher. To start off, I am going to begin with analyzing the Lot 5 barter token. A couple of months after Gary found the Roman coin with Rick, he and Jack Begley fared well once again with a curious, non-ferrous target. But what did they find this time? A lead barter token. It was most likely used as a form of currency several centuries ago, but it wasn't made of silver or gold. But let me emphasize one thing here again. Lead artifacts found on Oak Island have sometimes proven to be the greatest clues in helping to solve the mystery. Meanwhile, when archaeometallurgist Emma Colligan analyzed the token, her initial take on its possible origin was more than compelling. But when chemist Dr. Chris McFarland conducted isotope testing on the lead, his laser-focused findings made for an unbelievable moment. According to my judgment and analysis, the object was relatively easy to identify because it was flat, a favorable characteristic for analysis. Yet, it wouldn't have been a piece of cake because it had a very thick, altered crust on it, indicating that it had been submerged for quite some time. Without a doubt, it has endured significant environmental changes over the years. Now hear this out.
The biggest result is that isotopically, it looks very similar to the cross.
No way. I wasn't expecting that.
The Lot 5 token was an exact compositional match to the 14th century lead cross, signifying that both originated from southern France, a region where the Knights Templar maintained a stronghold until the early 1300s. The lead in the disc apparently matches virtually identically with the lead in the lead cross, which is a head-scratcher. Another very significant thing that could tie the Templars to this location is the discovery of the W's, and then all those other W's pieces are going to fall right into place. The second major discovery of this season is the real banger, because in the last dig of the year, they stumbled upon yet another puzzling discovery. This discovery marks the importance of direction, a possible map, to lead them to gold. It suggests that the gold is hidden somewhere deep within the money pit. The main focus remained on the money pit area, and they continued to excavate the B4C shaft. The B4C shaft is very close to reaching its full depth of around 90 feet. It is located barely 5 feet to the north of the borehole C. In the C1 cluster, including what might be evidence of wooden tunnels that date back to the 15th century. In addition, significant traces of silver and gold were found, which has led to conjecture on the site of the original money pit, as well as the likelihood of a tunnel that leads to a treasure room. The fact that they found gold deposits in the water is another motivator. But how they found these deposits is a tale in itself. They gathered samples in plastic bottles. The entire process aimed to ascertain whether gold was in the water and, if so, where it might be. Even so, what is the scientific basis for this fascinating jelly material? The blob is a complicated material, and it still needs to be clarified precisely what makes it up. The experts think it combines gold, iron, and sulfur. It is believed that the gold came from an organic gold deposit, but the most important find is a large iron fastener. Because of the primitive style of craftsmanship, it is thought to date back to the 1800s, if not earlier. They believe that this discovery gives them a sense that the money pit is somewhere near. One of the artifacts uncovered is a hand-forged spike, which rapidly becomes the center of attention. Because they understand the importance of each lead, the group will launch an inquiry into the surge. It has a rough appearance, yet it contains hand-forged raw iron and indications of aging, making it a valuable artifact with the potential to give insights into Oak Island's history. I find the importance of linking dots to be something fundamental in this whole pursuit. In my pursuit, I ran into an expert statement. Carmen Legg, A person whose life speaks of his love for finding the unknown concludes that the iron spike that was discovered in the B4C shaft belonged to a rock drill that was used during the medieval era. Last but not least, the garden shaft's greatest hits. Just before winter forced the team to halt their search operations, representatives from Dumi believed they may have encountered a tunnel some 10 feet below the bottom of the garden shaft. Rick and Marty then made their way to the bottom of the shaft together in order to investigate. It's like a childhood fantasy coming true, isn't it? At this stage, Rick and Marty, after 60 years, made their way into the money pit. After all the trace evidence of gold that was detected in water and wood samples during the reconstruction of the garden shaft, it was time for the metal-detecting ninja to see what he could find at the bottom, and it made for one Bobby Dazzler of a moment. He then connected it to a couple of swags the crew had discovered 2 years earlier, suggesting that one of the functions of the swags was to sharpen rock drills. He drew this connection by noting the presence of swags in the same location. The rock drill, a tool employed for drilling rocks or breaking up massive boulders, is believed to have a long history. It resembles those used during the medieval period. Its existence introduces a realm of intriguing possibilities concerning the history of the money pit and the hidden wealth within. The group deliberates whether this artifact provides further evidence of their proximity to the legendary riches. The rock drill holds historical significance as it could have been utilized in the initial construction of the money pit. And what season finale would be complete without a weeping Rick Lagena giving a moving and motivational speech? Will this actually lead to a treasure in the end? Who knows? Further expeditions by the Lagina boys will uncover the story. And to always stay safe, you need to be informed. So subscribe to the channel where I try all my might to bring you the latest and greatest from the archaeological world. In the end, it will be interesting to see if they can eventually decipher Oak Island's riddle. Final lead for the team. The curse of Oak Island has haunted humanity for centuries. Different minds have created different speculations, and some of them have even found physical evidence. So today, I am bringing you 3 wildest treasure stories about the island. The curse began to find different backings after the legend of Captain Kidd became a folklore, a notorious pirate who is rumored to have buried treasure on Oak Island. It is said that he placed a curse on the treasure to protect it from being discovered. Fast forward to 2023, June 7th, 2023. The Lagina brothers made a significant discovery in their search for the Oak Island treasure with a new scanning tool called ground-penetrating radar. They were excavating in Smith's Cove, an area of the island believed to be the treasure's location, when they found a large stone slab buried 10 feet under the ground with strange symbols of 1 inch carved into it. The slab weighs around 1,000 pounds and is composed of limestone and about 3 feet broad, 2 feet tall, and 6 inches thick. The Lagina brothers sought professional aid for interpretation because they thought the symbols on the slab had some significance despite being unintelligible. Sadly, thus far, their efforts haven't been fruitful. This is the first significant discovery in the area since they started looking in 2015. The brothers are relentlessly digging in the region in the hopes of finding further leads since they are persuaded that the slab may contain a hint as to the whereabouts of the riches. Besides the stone slab, they have also discovered several other priceless things at Smith's Cove, including coins, wooden planks, and beams, among other artifacts, over the years. But that's not all. The brothers claim that these discoveries show a sophisticated flood control mechanism was in place to safeguard the jewels, bringing them one step closer to finding the treasure buried on Oak Island. And this time, they go on many different terrain and paths. On June 14th, 2023, the team discovered a broken piece of old metal, adding more confusion in this decade-old treasure hunt. The metal has a diameter of approximately 1 inch and is about 1/2 inch thick. It is made of a copper alloy and has an illegible raised pattern on one side that shows a face or human form. According to the brothers, this metal object was part of a coin made in the 17th century, which is a significant hint that Oak Island's treasures were hidden there then. Although unclear, the experts think it to be a chunk of money. Who knows? On top of that, they struggle to explain the meaning of the coin's design. This metal chunk is the second most significant discovery in the area, which signifies yet another crucial development in the ongoing search for Oak Island's treasures. The lads continue to scan the environment intently in search of fresh cues. To them, the design appeared as an ambiguous face of a human. The metal item that was unexpectedly found 12 feet below the surface weighs barely 0.5 ounces. Moving on with the discoveries, on June 21, 2023, the Lagina brothers made another important discovery, an unusual little piece of wood. It was initially built from oak, which has a remarkable texture. According to the Lagina brothers, the wood could have come from a ship buried on Oak Island in the distant past. And this finding in particular is crucial because it adds evidence suggesting a ship buried the wealth on Oak Island, whereas it implies that precious cargo like gold or silver may have been carried by the ship. In an interview, traded on the marsh in this episode because it was the location of several intriguing artifacts they had previously discovered, including a lead cross and a stone with the Latin inscription 70 feet below. They were able to locate several abnormalities in the swamp using a range of techniques, including sonar and ground-penetrating radar, which they suspect might represent the remnants of buried buildings. One of the most intriguing oddities is a big rectangular object around 70 feet below the surface. The crew is excited to dig into this to see what they uncover since they think it may be a treasure box. The crew must not harm what they seek since the marsh is challenging and dangerous. Eventually, they excavated a tiny area of the item, but could not see what was within. In a later episode, they will have to go back to the swamp to carry on their hunt. Yet, the crew made modest strides on other parts of the island. They started digging a new shaft close to the marsh and continued to drill in the money pit location. The crew made some progress in their hunt for riches, even though they made no significant finds in this episode. They are optimistic that the forthcoming episodes will include something important. As more proof that Oak Island has long been the location of covert operations, or more precisely, clichés, the presence of a nearby treasure, the researchers also discovered traces of earlier human activity. That's not it, though. The real deal was the map they found on the island, which dated back to 1647. It was a French copy, with the labels hatch, valve, and anchor, suggested significant connections. In particular, it suggested that the money may have come from Africa, raising the intrigue around Oak Island. The brothers are convinced this map will point them toward their lost money. The series has followed their journey for over a decade, and it will be interesting to see if they can finally solve the mystery. The story goes that, in 1795, while on an adventure on the island, a group of boys around the age of 13 discovered a dip in the earth. They began digging since they believed it to be a fake hole, and as they dug, they found multiple layers of wood and other things. Yet, a mysterious flood stopped them in their tracks, filling the hole with water and blocking any further excavation. As soon as word of the discovery spread, treasure seekers from all over the world flocked to Oak Island to look for the loot. The Onslow Company, a group of financiers, organized the first orderly excavation of the Money Pit in the year 1803. This specific team was able to dig down to a depth of 90 feet before the flooding, which happened in the pit once more, hampered their attempts. Meanwhile, the excavations were permanently halted in 1909 as the Oak Island Treasure Company went out of business. Since then, several other parties have tried to find the treasure buried on Oak Island, but the riddle of the Money Pit has remained unsolved to this day. A terrible find was made at Oak Island during the final excavation, providing unbelievable proof that gold is actually buried within the Money Pit. The Money Pit and the ongoing B4C shaft excavation were still the center of attention. The Oak Island team maintained a close eye on the dig, in the hopes of seeing any significant advancements that could point them in the direction of the long-lost treasure room or a neighboring vault. The B4C shaft is now around 90 feet below the surface and is only 5 feet to the north of Borehole C. There have been several exciting discoveries recently in the C1 cluster, including what might be the remains of 15th-century timber tunnels. The discovery of these tunnels and funnels has sparked a plethora of curiosity in their design, purpose, and the technological prowess of ancient people. Atrocious find was found at Oak Island during final excavation. A tunnel leading to a treasure room has also been theorized as a result of the abundance of metal and gold found. The team knows they are getting near to the original Money Pit when they come upon a tunnel 90 feet below Earth. Because you never know what the next grab or scoop could turn up, digging is always exciting. The gold they discovered in the water is one of the theories as to why gold was transported to the money pit. The team discovers a few pieces of wood here and there, but the biggest iron fastener they have found so far stands out. The team concludes that the enormous iron fastener, which is thought to date from the 1800s or possibly earlier due to its poor craftsmanship, predates the discovery of the money pit. The finding of these artifacts gives the money pit more historical significance. One of the relics that the crew has discovered that has captured their attention in particular is a hand-forged spike. They want to examine the spike because it is noteworthy despite its crude appearance, the fact that it was hand-forged from raw iron, and the signs of aging. It might provide information on Oak Island's past, but about 130 feet down in the B4C shaft, the party is forced to turn around after hitting bedrock. It will be difficult to continue excavating and exploring because of this impediment. The excavations in the vicinity of the money pit have been put on hold for the year due to a lack of time. The evidence obtained from the 5 gigantic steel holes that have been sunk over the past few months has increased the team's confidence that the treasure that has been searched after for more than 2 centuries is still hidden beneath Oak Island. The crew is well aware that they will need to deploy cutting-edge equipment if they are to make any real progress in their hunt. This is as a result of the money pit's intricate layout. They feel a great drive to keep digging since there is scientific evidence suggesting that there are significant amounts of gold and silver below the surface. The crew's confidence in their ability to accomplish their objectives grows with each new hole they dig and with new discovery they make. They remain hopeful about finding the long-lost treasure on Oak Island, and they are willing to use any means necessary to get there. An important step forward in their exploratory efforts was made when the team pinpointed their exact location in the tunnel. The discovery of the handcrafted spike has greatly strengthened their earlier understanding of the location. The group intends to employ methods like carbon-14 dating, C14, in order to do further research because they are aware that it is necessary to do so in order to figure out where the surge started and what it means. A conference was planned at the research center to discuss the findings after the iron spike was discovered in the B4C shaft at a depth of more than 100 feet. Key participants included Carmen Legg, Gary Drayton, Craig Tester, and Marty Lagina. Our understanding of the Oak Island mystery has probably increased as a result of Carmen's inquiry, and further details about the origin and importance of the spike might become available. Carmen has revealed that the iron spike found in the B4C shaft is actually a rock drill, a device that was used throughout the Middle Ages. When Carmen connects this information to specific swagges that the researchers detected 2 years earlier, the excitement level increases. It turns out that one application for the swagges was to smooth the rock drill's edges. The rock drill, which is used to drill rocks or break up large boulders, is sometimes seen as an important antiquity due to its resemblance to drills employed in the Middle Ages. The money pit's presence on Oak Island gives rise to intriguing rumors about its past and the whereabouts of its hidden treasure. The crew members wonder if this object is another evidence that they are getting close to the fabled riches. The rock drill has historical significance since it might be linked to the original building of the money pit, which, in turn, could provide crucial information regarding the tools and methods employed during that first construction. The team's recent findings, which include the stone-paved section in the marsh and the ancient stone road, have further heightened the enthusiasm around the exploration of Oak Island's hidden areas. As they eliminate suspects, there is an increasing sense of intrigue about what might be hidden in the money hole. The Lagena brothers express gratitude for the team's assistance and reaffirm their conviction that the island has the potential to produce gold. They have combined conventional excavation techniques with a hunt for pertinent information as a result of their unwavering tenacity. The Oak Island enigma has been solved to an unparalleled degree as a result of everyone's diligence and Charles and Billy's leadership. With the best of intentions, a group of young people began digging on Oak Island, but things quickly turned terrifying. The treasure hunters hoped they had discovered a genuinely extraordinary find from the age of piracy when they discovered man-made stones and planks. However, as they continued to descend, Their excitement gave way to terror as they came across more and more boards that were covering a dangerous object underneath.